you have to do it. I don't think I can do it. I'm laughing.
All right, okay. Give it a go. Am I doing it or are you doing it?
I'm not doing it.
Okay, I'll do it. Shut up! You're setting me off. Right, okay. Sometime after season 1, Richie and Parley have a conversation about how to fuck off. This is shite.
so long.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, when you first suggested, you just said had a conversation. That was fine.
Yeah, I know. It's not working.
Then do it.
Okay.
Just say having a conversation.
Sometime after season 1, Richie and Farley are having a conversation.
So, season 1 was really good, wasn't it?
Oh man, my favourite bit of season 1 was when I talked about the fall. Do you remember when I talked about the fall?
Yeah, right at the end, because you don't say autumn. You only say autumn. You don't.
I mean, that is quality gaming journalism right there, you know?
Yeah, that was really good. Now listen, we should really start to think about, the inevitable season 2, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how we can top the intros of season 1. Do you remember how cool and fun they were with the whole finding fake sponsors every single week? Yeah. And but maybe we should do like some kind of a skit, play to our strengths, because we are strong improv actors, aren't we?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, we do have very good improvisational.
Oh dear.
Really good improvisation.
Yeah, and we don't crack or laugh or anything like that. We're really, really solid. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? We don't have a season 2, but the intro to season 2 is like the writer's room where they come up with episodes for season 2, but we don't actually record those episodes.
So, like, people in an office having a chat about concepts for the episodes.
Yeah, so we pretend like it's not just you and me. There's a whole office of people who, like a normal office.
Okay. Are we going to do, like, voices?
Well, we're quite strong on voices. So, yeah. Or we can have characters like Office Richie.
And that won't be too confusing that it's us playing them.
I think if we always introduced ourselves as Office Richie or Office Farley or normal podcast.
I suppose, yeah, and we could have like other characters like Stakeholder Farley and...
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we could have like some characters around the office, like the guy who's always late in meetings.
Oh, yeah, we could do a funny episode where we like bring him in and reprimand him.
Yes.
But again, he would be played by us, and that wouldn't be too confusing in any fashion at all, would it?
No.
And then strong improv actors.
But then how are we going to do the website and the socials?
I don't know. Maybe we could try and sneak it in, like into the middle of like when we're talking. Like, I don't know, just spitballing an idea here. Maybe, I don't know, you're making stickers in TGM Towers, and you want me to tell you and read out what are on those stickers.
Yeah, that's a really strong concept.
Yeah. The whole construct and foundation of this idea seems really solid.
Yeah, okay. And then how do we like end that imaginary theoretical skip bit and go into the episode?
I mean, we definitely need to hold the door open a little bit longer so that we can actually do the socials as well.
All right, okay.
So www.thatguys.co.uk for all your needs. All your needs.
Just all universal needs.
Yeah, sexual gratification number 1.
Okay.
And Yeah, that guy's maniac. All one word, lowercase.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
Another one. Twitter.
And how do we end this? Maybe we could end it on a really, really disappointing whimper.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of like...
So the concept for season 2 will be, we have these office concepts, we put loads of thought into characters and how it segues into us just talking about like what you're playing and all that business. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, that sounds like a really good idea.
Yep. Shall we do it?
No.
No.
How do we get out of this bit?
I'm not sure. Let's just meta talk about it, because that's what we do with these office skit things.
Oh, should we now review the
review the reviewing.
Why are we talking about this? We're talking about endings.
Yeah, we're talking about endings because this is the end of season 2, the inevitable end of season 2.
Yeah.
And it's no secret to anyone how much we hate the Office intro. As a concept, we thought it was fun and interesting, and it stretched ourselves too thin. Not even thin, we just...
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Like,
stretched us too thin?
it didn't stretch us too thin, but it went beyond our capabilities, and the concept was awful.
We're working really hard doing it? What was stretched thin?
I don't know, our abilities. It didn't even really do that. It just... We didn't actually ever research or come up with or make a solid intro.
Full disclosure, behind the scenes content readers, most of those episodes started with, what are we doing? Oh, I don't know, well, let's just wing it.
Or a classic Richie, fuck it, let's just do something. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement that season 3 will not start with a office skit.
I also think it's just really confusing if you hadn't listened to the podcast before.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think like our viewership for season 2 is lower than season 1.
I don't think that was numerically possible.
It's not great. Quite honestly, I think season 1 was our stronger season.
Also, do you know what? We definitely need to make sure we don't get too far into an episode before we say that it's about video games.
Yes. Like straight up, you know, maybe we should just scrap this and I can do like the season 1 intro instead.
That'd be great. Have you got a sponsor?
No. I never have a sponsor. Like,
That's true.
It's always down to you. You're the creative type. I'm the guy that fucks everything up and drags you down.
Is there a word for that? You're like the Seth
like
Rogen.
the dead weight.
Dead weight, okay.
Yeah, I'm the dead weight. I just do all of the technical stuff.
So listen, season 2's coming to an end.
Yeah.
It's been alright. It's been okay.
To be honest, I think our content, which is unfortunately gated behind an awful office skit, has been really good. I mean, I say that myself.
Blow your own horn, yeah.
Yeah.
It has. It's had some highs and lows, but all good things come to an end. And so this week we are talking about endings.
Game endings.
Game endings. Before we talk about game endings, Richie.
Yeah.
What's the best ending to a non-game thing that you can think of?
A happy ending?
I think I was after a specific thing. What's something that's got the best ending you can think of?
The best ending that I can think of?
Yeah, something that when you left, I don't know, the cinema or a series, you're like, yeah, good ending.
I mean, you've really put me on the spot there. Am I supposed to know? Did we discuss this before and I've forgotten?
No. It popped into my head. Improvisator as I am.
I don't know. Unfortunately, clichédly, I like an open ending. I like a what if. I like I suppose I hate Return of the Jedi, and I prefer Empire Strikes Back ending more.
Okay.
Do you know where I'm coming from there? Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe, like, Endgame was a good ending, but the Infinity War was a better experience. That open ending, you know?
Yeah, I think outside of video games, I like the ending where I think I agree with you. They leave it open, you know, because sometimes you, particularly in the last 10 years, you're watching like a 3-hour-long film, and it feels like it has 4 endings, and it makes you instantly think,
Yeah.
"Oh, this didn't do well with test audiences. Like, this is the proper ending," and then execs, the anti-creative execs, have made you add 3 other endings on top of that to explain everything, and everything ended well, and here's exactly what happened to everything, rather than just, you know, did they survive? I don't know.
I'm trying to think, because I watched something recently and I was thinking that, why is this film not ended yet? And it just kept on going and kept on going.
Yeah.
That's a great... I think it was the Pedro Almodovar film, the one that was about something mothers. Oh god, it's always mothers. But it was recently on in the cinema. It was like a few months ago, and it's basically about a woman who is exploring her sexuality, but at the same time she's a mother, and also like she's finding out about her heritage, and you keep on thinking this film's gonna end, and it's got this sinister vibe, and you're thinking, is everybody gonna end by somebody killing everyone? But in fact, it ends up being a sort of heavier message about the Spanish Civil War and how people who were against it were, you know, executed, and nobody ever really found out, and these graves need to be sort of arranged. And it's a really good film, but I was kind of like, this film could have finished about 6 different times, but it just kept on telling you a little bit of a newer story. Was it a bad thing? No, the film was good, so I think my point is moot. I'm so glad I'm talking about a Pedro Almodovar Spanish film on blooming video games podcast. By the way, we are a video games podcast.
I think having actually thought about the question I posed, I think one of my favourite endings, I don't think it's a good film, is it Apocalypto?
Apocalypto definitely rings a bell.
So it's set in Mexico, and it portrays Native Americans, and then it ends. There's this whole drama and the whole story, and then it ends with them seeing the arrival of Christopher Columbus to America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like those kind of endings where they go, we're not going to tell the story because everyone knows what happened from here. But
like the end of Rogue One.
Yeah, I was going to say the end of Rogue One's a good example. I'm glad we've gone away from fucking arty, high concept Spanish films. We're back on stupid Star Wars shit. Rogue One. Back to lowest common denominator.
Empire Strikes Back is the best one.
Actually, let's talk about the MCU. Oh, we already did that. We already talked about the MCU.
Yeah, we did.
But Rogue One is a very good film. Uncontroversial to say, I think. But it could have ended when Jin and what's his face die on the beach, and I think that would have been very good.
Yeah.
So you see the explosion, and you don't need to be told, "Oh, did the rebels get the message?" Because you've seen, you know the film, and instead, it was kind of cool. But then they actually showed, here's the message, and here's Darth Vader, and okay.
Yeah.
A New Hope begins minutes after this film ends, which was also cool, but it could have been cooler to just, see them die and be like...
It wasn't necessary, but I think you needed to see the CG Leia, and that was it, really.
Yeah, and Darth Vader
What about twist endings? I feel like we shouldn't talk about twist endings.
No.
No.
Let's talk about some video games.
Yeah, let's talk about video games. Okay, cool. So, do you know what is a shit way to end a game? Or indeed a story?
No.
Is by saying it's all been a dream.
That is quite wank, yeah.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Super Mario Brothers 2, which is the Dark Souls of Mario Kart,
True.
did. Do you remember that at all? Because we actually did complete it.
We did complete it. I never completed it. And then, because you see Mario dreaming and he's dreaming about all the enemies, but don't some of the enemies have, like, the wrong names?
I think, yes, canonically, the names got changed to something a bit different.
No, but I think 2 of them have mixed up names.
Ah, okay. That's a fun bit of trivia. Yeah?
It is. I think maybe, possibly.
If
But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know why they did that.
Do you remember what enemies they were?
I want to say it was Birdo,
Ah, okay.
and another one had their names switched around. Are
Okay.
you looking it up now?
Yes.
Great. But yeah, it's interesting that they did that. Do you reckon they did that because it's quite different to Super Mario Brothers? And because it was a different game in development, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't just a different game. In Japan, it was released as a different game. But Super Mario Brothers 2 is what we in the West refer to as Lost Levels, which was deemed too hard for Westerners.
I mean, they're not wrong. Have you tried Lost Levels?
Yes, I have
Fucking
completed Lost Levels.
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
No, you haven't.
I fucking have. Level D4, I've done it. I've fucking done it, and it's
Right,
awful.
next time we hang out,
Oh my god.
you have to play through because I don't believe you.
No, absolutely. I have vowed I will never touch it again.
Oh, how convenient. Yeah, I beat Devil May Cry on Dante Might Die, but Might Die? That's a really easy level.
Dante might die. Dante might die, brilliant. I love
Dante Might Die, easy, normal, hard. Dante will die, then super extreme. Yeah. I beat Devil May Cry on Dante Must Die.
Yeah.
Hardness, but I vowed to never play it again, so...
No, look, this was a younger me. This was when I was playing it on the All-Stars cartridge.
Oh, your hacked German one.
Yeah, my hacked German one.
Right.
But yeah, no, I played and completed Lost Levels, and I hated it. I don't know why I did it. All I remember is just being wee Mario the entire time. You know, it's like you never.
Is that like Mario with like a little tartan bonnet on.
wee Mario.
What would he pick up? A bottle of Iron Brew and he turns into wee Mario.
Drinks some Buckfast and he just sort of starts getting reverse controls. So, yeah. No. Anyway. Look, you can believe me or you can't believe me. It's up to you. But yes.
I choose not to believe you.
Sure, go for it. Cool.
Anyway, is the Super Mario All-Stars version of the Lost Levels different?
Different to what? And
the original Super Mario Brothers 2, released in Japan.
I don't.
Because all of the All-Stars games were reskinned, right?
They were reskinned. They got some prettier graphics. Yeah.
Yeah, and different sprites and slightly different controls.
I don't think the controls were ever different in any of the games.
Yeah, I think they were. Is it just something slightly different about them? Very floaty.
Floaty?
Yeah, so if you play Super Mario Brothers 3...
Yeah.
NES. NES. And you play Super Mario Brothers 3 on Super Mario All-Stars. Was it on Super Mario All-Stars?
Yep.
They're slightly different games.
I would probably debate that, but I would say that they are identical games with a slightly prettier overlay. I think, or at least my experience of them was that they were the same thing. Are you now Googling that?
I am, yeah.
Well, in any case, All Stars might have been its own entity. And to be honest, like, having all of those SNES games, it's so weird. Like, my first game for the SNES was I bought this SNES and it had All Stars with it.
Mm-hmm. I remember the bundle.
No, it didn't.
He's lying about that. Like you lied about how you beat Lost Levels.
No, but I think one of the first games that I had. Yeah, no, because I got the Nintendo Scope bundle. That was the SNES I got with the big bazooka.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the first games that I had beyond the Nintendo Scope and the Super Game Boy.
God.
I know.
Yeah.
Was Super Mario All Stars, and it was weird because like the only current game that I was playing on it was like the Nintendo Scope games. The rest of it was like I was playing Game Boy games on my SNES, or I was playing remastered versions of NES games. Yeah. Crazy.
What's another kind of ending?
A true ending?
Yeah, good ending.
Yeah.
Bad ending, good ending.
Yeah. A canonical ending.
Canonical ending.
Yeah. So like,
we talked on the one of the Resident Evil episodes, right? How none of the endings of Resident Evil 1 are canonical.
Yeah, you mentioned this, yeah.
Because you can't rescue everybody.
And yet everybody is always still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean...
It disturbs me.
Yeah.
That disturbs me.
What are you saying?
That disturbs me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, it's a disturbing game. Oh God. The game does feature scenes of explicit violence and gore.
It's true.
But multiple endings is definitely multiple endings is definitely a thing, and especially in video games. Now, of course, you've got your Dragon Ages and your Mass Effects, and they do such things as like, depending on your relationships with your party members, or if you didn't get a party member, or if you decided to schmooze with one faction, will change the ending for you. And Fallout does the same thing as well. Fallout, like, depending on which faction you fell into, will determine the ending that you get. Yeah, and I mean, that's like lots of different ways for it to sort of go. Fighting games.
Do you know what?
Sorry, go on.
I've had my fill of fucking multiple endings.
Yeah?
So recently I was playing Call of Cthulhu, and there are four endings in that game.
Yeah.
But the community didn't really work out how you get the 4 endings before losing interest.
Okay.
So you know, I played through it, and it's very clear that right at the end of the game, you get a dialogue tree, and that's your endings. Now there is a way, I believe, that you can get the 4 endings on that ending dialogue tree. So all you have to do is reload your last save, play through the last cutscene, choose a different ending.
Yeah.
However, depending on events in the game, like you get opportunities to take a drink, and you can drink 3 times. There's an achievement for not drinking at all. But if you drink, I think it keeps your sanity levels high, but then you have to have some insanity. But there's a way of doing it, and it was so confusing and not obvious. And every now and then, when you do something, so you can choose to shoot this guy, for example, and when you do, or if you don't, it will say your fate has changed and pops up in the top left. But it's not clear, and there's just posts and posts and posts of forums. What the actual magical numbers are to make sure that this happens or this happens. And again, because it's like forum posts, it's, miss the days of a good old FAQ. No one really knows, they're like, oh yeah, I got all 4 endings and I did this, and this. And so I was playing it and I got 2 of the endings on my first playthrough, and then I played it again. There's some stuff that you can only get on a second playthrough. It's like, if you choose this, you get...
Oh god, yeah,
If you choose this, you get an achievement. If you choose this, you get an achievement. So I did a second playthrough and I unlocked the 3rd one. I was like, okay, what about the 4th one? And by this time, you're just kind of playing it rote. And it's quite quick. Some of the chapters you can just bash through. And so I had this guide to, here's how you get all 4 endings. Followed the guide religiously, but it wasn't very specific on some points. Yeah. It's like, I drank every time there was an option to drink. I think I picked up all the blah, blah, blah objects. So I did all that, played through the whole fucking game again, and there's no chapter selection, right? So you've got the one save file you have to keep going through. And because there's bits that accumulate through it. Anyway, played it all the way through, got to the fucking final cutscene thing, didn't have the 4th option. And so now my trophies, so I was doing it for trophies, Richie, you'll be surprised, sits at 98%. And I don't have that. Yeah. And all I need is to get the last ending, and then that triggers the platinum.
Don't.
I know, but it's just sitting there mocking me. And also I don't, there isn't a definitive guide to here's how you get this ending. It seems to be the trickiest ending to get. Anyway, so I've had my fill of multiple endings. Don't, if it's a case of loading up the last save file and choosing the other option, fine. Don't make me have to play through the whole game again.
No, absolutely not. I mean, like, you need to be able to just sort of know when to save or what to save in order to sort of go through and see the different options, or choose the faction and then go through to the end, or whatever you need to do to sort of like I hated that sort of stuff for like thousanding games, and you just got to stop and you got to pause and you got to say, right, from this point on I am playing the evil guy and I'm going to get the ending that is, the bad ending where you're evil, and that's fine. You've got that save point. And I think specifically the BioWare games are very you need to know a guide, but they do that shit all the time. You just need to choose your point where you've got a save file, and of course you just do all the side quests in the meantime.
Yeah. But there wasn't. Did you ever play Nier? Any of the Nier games?
No, but I quite fancied it. It's sort of like the sort of robot maid with guns.
Yes, it's the one that lots of young people like to cosplay as. Anyway, that did something fucky with all the end. That has like, God, how many?
See, it was sold to me as, it's great. It's a fantastic story in 20 hours. But then, what that somebody hasn't told me is, it's 20 hours for ending 1. For the other 16, you're going to have to pump in a good 150 hours before you'll actually get them all,
26 endings.
26.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not. It's more than just you play through the game. You play through the game and do all the quests. You get ending A, and then you load the clear save and play again to get a different ending. And you load up the 3rd one, and then choose something different at the end. You get the 3rd ending, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there are some endings where when you get to chapter blah blah blah, and someone says, "Hey, do you want to do the thing?" You say, "No, that's another ending."
Right. It makes me not want to play that game.
Yeah, well, this is what I was coming to. You know, multiple endings are nice, and it's like a young person's, but I think it's a young person's game, right? these, these,
Yeah,
these
totally.
days, you know, I put the hours in, you know, find the hours to play through a game, get to the end, and think, oh, that's nice. I've beaten that game. I can cross it off my backlog. My instant reaction is not like, oh, I will play this 5 more times, remembering the specific things that I have to do to
Yeah.
get this other. The thing that really pisses me off, and maybe I've talked about this before, is New Game Plus.
Okay, yes, that's something we wanted to mention. Yeah, so New Game Plus, right?
New Game Plus.
What grinds your gears about New Game Plus?
Well, on the PlayStation, on the trophies, they now do this thing where instead of, you know, you have a game and it has however many trophies or achievements and you get them all and it says, congratulations, you've done. Now, if there's DLC, regardless if you have the DLC or not, or like an update, it adds those to the trophy count.
Yeah.
So like recently I beat Ghost of Tsushima. Very good game. Absolutely loved it. Amazing ending. Did everything in it, right? Platinumed it. But because there's a Legends mode and New Game Plus and then there's some DLC, the top, when you look into your trophies, it says, oh, you've only got 60% of the trophies for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
And there's no way of turning it off. There's no way of saying, don't show me this DLC that I never want to buy.
Yeah, that's the same on like Xbox 360 as well. Like I remember thousanding Oblivion.
Yeah.
And then because they brought out the Mad God expansion, which was another 250 achievement points, it went from 1,000 to 1,250. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah.
And with Ghost of Tsushima specifically, there's a New Game Plus, which I think does change the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but more than just you're playing through it again with all your stuff. And there's an achievement, 2 achievements linked to 2 trophies, linked to New Game Plus. One of which is, you know, buy an item from some character who doesn't appear in the base game, and the second one is complete the game on New Game Plus.
Well, I mean, there is different ways that New Game Plus is handled. I specifically like the roguelite element of being able to keep all of your stats or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like in Resident Evil 4, being able to go back in and you've already got your souped up Red 9 or whatever it was. Was it Red 9? Yeah. That's cool. I like that a lot. And or like going back through Devil May Cry, but you've already gone through and you've got all of the weapons that you need, so you're beating up the bad guys.
Yeah.
With all of the styles straight away.
And they're all max level, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, I need to change this weapon to grind it out.
Or not even max level. It's just like, all right, I got an end, you know, special weapon, and now I need to, you know, play New Game Plus to level it up. That sort of stuff's fun. But like you say, it's a young man's game for having lots of time to play and replay.
Yeah.
You know, but like. There are elements of New Game Plus that I like, where you can go back and use your feeling of being overpowered, and you know, get back at those guys who, you know, fucked you over at the start and chapter 1, you know, whatever. And you're like, yeah, well, taste my evil, wrathy big sword that I've stolen from the final boss of the game. You know?
Yeah. Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2 was good for that. When you turn up to fight whatever the second level of Birkin, and you've got the Gatling gun, and you know, basically his cutscene ends, and then before he walks onto your screen, he's dead because you just held the Gatling gun and shot him. You know, just ignoring that really painful boss battle.
Yeah, and like, do you remember the Resident Evil 2 director's cut as well, where they just gave you the infinite submachine gun? Did you play that?
Director's cut?
Yeah. Resident Evil 2 director's cut.
Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because Resident Evil 2, I don't think there was a Resident Evil 2 director's cut.
Yes, definitely was. I played it. Did you? Did you complete it, Richie? I.
I think you might mean the original Resident Evil.
No. Let's not get into this, but basically there was a different version that had an easy mode, and it just gave you a submachine gun.
I think you just unlock that in Resident Evil 2, and then on your new game plus you can choose.
No. That's the this is, you don't need to play anything at all. You just go straight into it, and you've got the submachine gun, infinite submachine gun. Let's not have this argument. Trust me. Please trust me.
Okay. Are you talking about the remake?
Nope.
Okay. Alright. Maybe it was like your German Mario All-Stars.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, you're so bad. Right, okay, might not be called Director's Cut.
Right. Or exist.
You bug me.
Stop making stuff up.
I'm not making it up. Oh, God. Right. Anyway, let's move past this. Right, okay. Now I've got the other versions. Here we go. This is the worst way to start a podcast or do a podcast. Right. Okay. This is not interesting. DualShock version, N64, other versions. Blah blah blah. Okay. That's not it.
Nope.
Oh, it might have just been the PC version. Because I did play the PC version. That's, yeah, again, not very interesting. But basically, when it was released in Japan, or at least a version of the Japanese one, it had this elective easy mode in it.
Okay.
Which basically just gave you an infinite submachine gun.
Okay. I think you just unlocked it, man. I think you're just remembering playing through it again.
You think it's a false memory?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a memory of you playing through, unlocking it with Leon, getting an S rank, or whatever, and then playing through it again and having a blast.
I'm. See, the thing that's getting me about this memory is I have definitely owned multiple versions of Resident Evil 2. I've owned it on PC, I owned it on N64, I owned it on PlayStation 1.
Hang on. I think it's rookie mode. It's just
Rookie
normal,
mode,
normal Resident Evil 2.
Is it? That doesn't sound right. This is definitely a different version.
Resident Evil 2 rookie mode was included in GameCube, PlayStation, PC, and Dreamcast. So basically every version except N64.
PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Only present in certain versions, more simpler, but okay. Fine. But how did you get rookie mode? Because it doesn't seem like that was in the original Resident Evil 2, and because you don't remember this, do you?
I never played it on rookie mode, did I?
Okay, here we go. So it was Resident Evil 2 Platinum on the PC, it was included in. It was also included in Resident Evil 2 on the Dreamcast. I think it might have been the Dreamcast version I was playing. It was also Resident Evil 2 GameCube. I don't remember Resident Evil 2 in the GameCube.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was... the GameCube was, for a while, the Resident Evil machine, because it's the only one that had 1, 2, 3, 4, and code.
Did it have 1-1 or did it have a remake of 1?
had Zero. So it had Zero,
yeah.
Remake 2, 3, and 4. Maybe Code Veronica?
Yes, definitely had Code Veronica, yeah.
And that was the only console that had all, because the others didn't have 0 and 4 for a while. So yeah.
Okay, so the Resident Evil 2 version, which had the rookie mode, is the DualShock version. So if you remember, there was that transitionary time where PlayStation 1 controllers didn't have the 2 analog sticks.
I do remember
that. So Resident Evil 2 came out initially, and then there was the Resident Evil 2 DualShock version, and I own both of those versions because I'm a dick.
Oh my god, how many times do you own Resident Evil 2? But I don't think I've ever heard of anybody who had both versions of Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation.
Oh my god. But yeah, anyway,
Oh, that was a brilliant tangent.
Yeah, but I mean, Resident Evil 2 is a great game because it does have multiple endings. It also has multiple pathways through it as well. So you get the A ending, you get the B ending, and then you get to go back and play through it, and you get to have different choices in the game based on what you did in A and B scenarios as well. So yeah, that's
I like that. I like those little bits.
And they weren't massively different. Some might say unnecessary, but it was different endings, and it just allowed you a bit more flavour to the game.
Listen, recently I don't know why. You know how sometimes you go back to a game, you're not too sure why you go back to it. So I went back to Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I had a look at the trophy. It sounds like I'm trophy obsessed. I'm really not. I don't have that many at all. Anyway, I thought I really liked that game. What was it? Oh my god! Yeah, okay, I remember. So I found, happened to discover on the South Coast this amazing video game shop.
Oh yeah, you were saying down on Jurassic Coast, yeah.
Yes, down the Jurassic Coast, and better than anything I've ever seen in London.
Plug them.
I can't remember the name.
Oh my god!
A lot has happened in between. It is something to do with drop, something to do with loot drop.
Okay.
Item drop.
Item drop. Okay.
Item drop in a place called Seaton.
Okay.
On the South Coast. Phenomenal, and I don't use that word lightly. Phenomenal geek store. All kinds of shit I've never seen anywhere else. And loads of Resident Evil 2 stuff, right? So I bought, you got me the replica medals from Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
I got like there's a replica stars key. You know, the thing you turn into a USB stick, but then later on you unlock the Magnum.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So absolutely loved it. I thought, it's been a while since I played Resident Evil 2. So booted up Resident Evil 2 Remake, had a look at the trophies, and there's a bunch of stuff on there like, I'm too old now to do this. But one of them was so I thought, no, come on, just pay a little bit of attention, have a guide open. And so I did a run where I didn't use a recovery item and didn't open the box, and there's one called about carbon footprints, so it's like you take less than 14,000 steps.
Nice.
So I got all three of those in one run.
That's epic. That's pro stuff.
No healing or use the item box. It's a completely different game.
Yeah.
But it made me feel like, when we used to be able to just absent-mindedly sit down and do Resident Evil 2 in like 3 hours. Without a guide, or guides barely existed. It reminded me a bit of that, because there's whole areas you don't bother doing. There's boss fights you can cheese. There's like weapons you don't bother picking up. It filled me with the joys of, this is what you could do when you had time and a memory and reflex.
And a memory.
Memory, yeah. Great game. Great game.
Yeah.
I really rate it.
Cool. And it's got lots of endings as well.
Yes, it does. Although I was cheesing it, I think. easiest mode, but the one up. Yeah.
Yeah. An interesting new game plus one. It's also quite topical because it's just come out on the Switch thing as well. The Switch thing being the SNES emulator that they have.
Oh yeah.
So we were talking about this, and you'd never heard of it. In Super Mario World, when you complete the Star Road, everything changes. The enemies change, and you get new backgrounds. It becomes fall rather than sort of summery.
Yeah.
And
that's a throwback, readers.
Yeah.
Not only earlier in this episode, but the end of season 1.
So what Nintendo have done is they've released basically Star Road completed.
Yeah, they're called they're the SP versions of games, right? They're quite cool. I like this.
The problem I found with it was not only did they give you the completed Star Road, they completed everything. Like, they gave you the full everything. You could just go anywhere in the game. It was just like, well, that's a bit shit. Just allow us to start from the start of the game, but with the Star Road completed. And that bothered me a lot, because that's kind of something I've always wanted to do. You know, it's like, rather than have to go and run Star Road immediately.
Can't you just play through them all anyway?
I mean, yes, you can, but there's a degree of achievement of having to go to the Yellow Switch Palace or go and open all of the different routes and go back and get all of the hidden areas and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
That's a motivator and a drive for me.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, maybe they released that as well. There's been a couple of other NES and SNES games, or NES games definitely, which have got like more than one SP mode. But I mean, I can see why they did it, because it's the more accessible option rather than just dropping you and go, hey. Because how long do you reckon that game, if they did just drop you into
oh my god, it
Star
would take
Road,
quite a while, because like the Star Road levels are brutal. I mean, I think when we played the very, very first episodes, I started going down the Star Road route because I thought, you know what, how fun would it be for you to be able to play through some of the other lands whilst I've unlocked and done everything. And then I was realising I'm just spending all my lives in your shot. You're completing lands whilst I'm dying to the same level over and over and over. But yeah, they're not lost levels hard, but they are the biggest challenge in Super Mario World. And
because they'll have a gimmick, right? They're basically all gimmick levels. It's like, in this
yes
level,
and no.
You have to master the blah blah blah. In this level,
it's not even about mastering it. There's a degree of luck as well. Like, you remember you get the pea balloons where it makes them sort of helium and they can float up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a level entirely based on that. There is no ground, so you just have to float your way through the entire thing. Nothing but spiky enemies, floaty red things to attack you. But basically, if you get hit once by anything, you're dead, and you just have to pea balloon float through the entire level.
Is it really called pea balloon?
I mean, I called it.
It's definitely pea wing, right?
That's pea wing, definitely. Power wing, power balloon.
Power balloon, yeah.
Maybe power balloon, but
but
pea balloon conjures up a whole different image. Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things that people ask Google: how do you control Mario?
I believe by pressing left and right, and if you press B, he goes faster.
Oh, yes, the whole thing. The answer they give you is not good.
No? What is the answer?
No, the answer is a video about how Super Mario 3D All Stars controls work on Switch.
Wow. Okay, Google.
Here's another good one.
Yeah.
Is Tanuki a Mario?
Yes.
I don't know.
The Tanuki suit in Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, but the question is Tanuki a Mario?
Okay, I mean, I understand what that sentence is trying to say. The syntax is wrong.
Is Bumblebee a Mario? Sometimes. Yes.
He's also sometimes a Volkswagen or a
Is
Corvette.
Is Volkswagen a Mario?
Eh,
Can be.
I
Is
mean,
Big Green Boot a Mario? Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
oh, what is that called?
The Bee Boot?
No, it's like a Goomba sock or something like that. Oh God, this is rubbish. Come on, let's track it back. Let's bring it back to game endings by
Goomba
ending
Shoe.
talking about Goomba shoes.
Okay, alright, we've talked about Resident Evil, we've talked about Super Mario World again.
I want to talk about Chrono Trigger.
Oh, go on. Isn't that coming out again? Or something?
I think
Remastered?
they remastered Chrono Cross, and everybody was like, "Oh, why did you remaster Chrono Cross? Everybody wants Chrono Trigger." And I think they're also doing like a new game, Chrono Legacy or something like that.
Does no one like Chrono Cross? Is Chrono Cross the second one?
Chrono Cross was on PlayStation 1. And yes, because it isn't about time travel, which the first one was. It is about interdimensional hopping, and there's too many elements that are close to what Chrono Trigger was. So like they've got the frog guy in there, but it's not the same guy, and you kind of hoped it was, or a younger version of him, or something like that. And
So what are they doing? They're remaking.
They have remastered Chrono Cross. It's already out and available on the Switch.
To what extent is it a remaster?
Prettier graphics,
Okay.
I believe. And yes, there is another one, Chrono Legacy, which I think is coming out soon. I don't know what platform. It could be mobile for all I know. So
What's
yeah,
that?
we are not just here to tell you our views on video games. We're here to inform you of the latest and greatest news. There's a game maybe out, is it? Not on some platform.
It's a strategy RPG.
Is it Chrono Legacy? Yeah.
Yeah, strategy RPG. Oh god, do you know what really pissed me off? Video games don't have websites anymore. You know?
Yeah. It was nice, and you could click about and do things.
Yeah. You'd be like, okay, where's the legitimate information about this game rather than...
It is on mobile. So let's not mention Chrono Legacy again, shall we?
Are there gems? I just need to know if are there stars.
Yes.
Oh, okay, right. God.
Right. Anyway, I was talking about Chrono Trigger.
You were.
And the endings that you can get in that one.
Yes.
Now, do you know the plot of Chrono Trigger?
Yes, I do.
You watched a long play of it. Now, there is a evil thing that exists outside time called Lavos.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, your whole goal is to defeat Lavos.
Yeah.
However, you can at any point visit the end of time and attack and kill Lavos, even at the very, very start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on when you decide and choose to kill Lavos depends on the ending you get in the game. And I think there's got a multitude of different endings as well, but it's all based on when you choose to do it. It's up to you. If you aren't interested in the plot anymore, or you don't want to go and get this character, you can go kill Lavos and get an ending, which is quite cool. If you do it right at the very, very start of the game, which is a long, lengthy, very boring process of you having to grind money to get potions and then you kill Lavos. I think you get like a special ending where you get to see the developers playing drums or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So again, with the weird endings, you didn't want to touch on Silent Hill and the dog endings and UFO endings, but yeah, like games have these funny, cool snippet bits, you know, and that's fine.
Did you know there's a secret ending on Chrono Trigger?
What is the secret ending?
It was only in the DS,
iOS, DS version, yeah,
Android, and Windows version.
And what is the secret ending? What do you need to do?
Finish the encounter with Lavos in the Ocean Palace. Finish the dimensional vortex in all 3 time periods. Talk to Gaspar.
Yeah.
Then use the bucket gate to travel to Time's Eclipse and defeat the Dream Devourer. And it's a sneak preview of Chrono Cross.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played through the DS version. I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that a remake or a slight remaster?
It's a remaster. They added a whole
Ending?
No, a whole subs game. So when you time travel using whatever you name your the flying machine, time machine,
yeah.
You can choose to go to a sort of other area where you're like looking after monsters, or monsters are talking to you, or they're helping you outside of time, and you can gain weapons ahead of the plot, which is quite cool because that means you can just like sell the other weapons and stuff like that. It's quite interesting. They keep everything else the same, so like the music's all the same, the graphics are the same. It's just you have this other additional bit, which I think is what they're referring to as the time vortex.
Okay.
And the ending that you're talking about there. I enjoyed the DS version. I like Chrono Trigger. I think it's a great game. Yeah, I don't know what more to say really. Chrono Trigger's a great game.
Does it need a sequel? Does it need a remake?
I would like a direct sequel. I would like more time traveling shenanigans with those guys.
Do you reckon, is it like Final Fantasy VII? Are they saving it for when they get desperate again? Like when the financials are looking bad. Like, hey guys! Chrono Trigger 2!
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because all I know of it is that it's much loved and that people are very angry that Chrono Cross exists.
Yeah.
That's like my 2 pieces of knowledge.
But I think Chrono Trigger still is probably like Guardians of the Galaxy of the Marvel world. You know, it's got a niche following.
So it's not your Dragon Quests. It's not your Final Fantasies.
No.
It's the other one.
Yeah, and it's also it's the Dragon Ball artist that did the stuff in there as well.
Uh-huh.
So I think a lot
Toriyama?
of people.
Toriyama?
Akira Toriyama, yeah.
I know things. Listen, let's talk about games with endings which change the canon.
Okay, give me an example.
So I've got 2 examples for you. One of which is one which is quite cool is Tomb Raider. The end of Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, Lara Croft dies.
Okay.
And then the next game, Tomb Raider Chronicles, is people at her funeral reminiscing about stuff she got up to, and then you play those memories.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
You can change her dying. Is that the whole second game?
No, because it's stuck in time. So this stuff that she did in the past, and then I think the game ends with. In Tomb Raider: Last Revelation, you get buried trying to escape a tomb, I think Tomb Raider Chronicles, I could be wrong, ends with, the pile of rocks moving or something. And then she comes back. But the other example is the Splatoon series. So at the end of each Splatoon game, there's these things called, throughout the active life of a Splatoon game, they do these things called Splatfests, where you vote. Basically, it's a way of arbitrarily choosing a team. You vote on this or that. So it's like ketchup or mayonnaise, the toilet roll, you have it at the back or you have it at the front.
Yeah.
Basically, you pick a team, and then over a weekend of fighting each other, whoever wins, you get more items than the team that loses. But the last Splatfest of both Splatoon and Splatoon 2 have changed the canon of the game following it. So the end of Splatoon,
Of course, yeah.
you had to choose either these two idols, Callie and Marie, Calamari, and you had to vote on which one you fought, and then the players fought each other, and then I can't remember who the name of the one that won, Callie maybe, and then in Splatoon, the one who didn't win had vanished. That's how the game starts. And at the Splatoon 2, the last Splatfest was Chaos versus Order, and Chaos won. And it looks like Splatoon 3 is set in some Mad Max type world.
Cool.
So that's cool because essentially the player base has chosen it's very vague, but a idea of the theme of the next game. I can't think of any other examples like that.
No.
With the exception of Mass Effect, when
there's probably
everyone whinged so much.
MMOs that change their expansions and things like that. There'll be an EverQuest thing that'll have done something that changed something based on or those ever evolving ones like Eve. They'll have changed things based on what people have done, somewhere. But those games don't end. I suppose that's the difference there. Incidentally, I just looked at my phone again, and I saw Chrono Legacy. It's nothing to do with any of the Chrono games.
Is it not?
No. It's just a horrible mobile game with gems in it, and it's not related to the Chrono series in any fashion.
At all?
No.
That's the same logo. Or is it not?
No, it doesn't.
Are they very close to the same logo?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Ignore us. Ignore past us.
Yep. So yeah, just before we get all of our rabid readers ranting, raging at us for incorrect information there. Yeah. Right. So I guess speaking of endings, shall we begin to bring this episode to an end? Shall we give the readers a little snippet of what to expect in season 3?
Sure.
Because we've planned it out in great detail, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we planned out the next 5 seasons of TJM.
Yeah, exactly. So this one, it won't be a direct sequel. It's going to be no. Well, I think what we can definitely say is there will be no office skits in season 3, and we'll be happy to say goodbye to that. We will have What Are You Planes?
Of course.
Yeah. We might have some more quiz Q&A episodes.
Yeah, this list gets more speculative, but carry on.
Yeah. We will have guest stars.
Will we?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
We will have an episode about
yeah.
An episode about a old video game system of some kind.
Nice.
We will have a debate of some sort.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Will we have an episode based on a year of the past and the video games that were released in that year?
Because that's a nice, easy research project for us to do.
Great.
Yeah.
Will we have an episode using loads of sound clips from Resident Evil 2 that
Will we
ages
cock and balls?
edit and put together? And despite all the time it took to put together, it lasts about 5 minutes?
No.
Okay. We will have something about Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil.
Yes, definitely Resident Evil. Will we finally do our Final Fantasy VII episode?
No, not until we're desperate.
Not till we're desperate.
Do you know what? A serious thing though, I was thinking we could probably do something about Pokemon.
Probably do something about Pokemon, yeah. Actually, we should, because when we come back to Series 3 in the fall,
Is it
there
series
will
or
be
season?
Season 3. Like,
You just said series.
I know, I did. Look, I mean, the number of times I've said words wrong.
Dumba.
Right, anyway. In Season 3...
The number of times I said things wrong is brilliant.
Okay, are you done?
No, carry on.
I've forgotten my train of thought. Thank you so much for that.
In series or season 3.
In Season 3, what was I saying before that?
That's what you started with. You started with in season.
I know, but it was following on from something you said, Nobby.
Did I say Dumba? No, that was you.
No, I said number.
Oh,
you misheard me, and you found it hilarious.
You said about in a really weird way.
Listen, this is actually being recorded.
About? You said about.
I did say about, yeah. That was silly. And I also said series rather than season.
Okay.
Now you're just being mean.
Will we have a World of Warcraft episode, maybe?
We will definitely have a World of Warcraft. Anyway, yes. Also, when we return in the fall for Season 3, there will be a new Pokemon game on the horizon. So we will definitely have a Pokemon game.
Will it be on the horizon or will it be out?
I can't remember. It depends when we release Season 3.
It's true. Depends when the Pokemon game comes out as well.
Yeah, it does.
Lots of things it hinges on.
Yeah. It's all a big chronology. And yeah, we'll have a World of Warcraft episode, I'm sure, and I will hopefully have a Steam Deck by then as well.
Oh, really? You bought one?
Yeah, I've been on pre-order. Waiting.
I'd be really interested to see. I think we've had this discussion before, but yeah, I'd be interested to see.
I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think the fact that it can dock like a
Jump A?
like a jump A. Like a Switch is quite cool, except it's a powerful PC. And the fact that it is quite a powerful PC in a little handheld format is quite interesting to me.
Can you plug a keyboard and mouse into it?
Yes.
So you're on the tube. You set it up.
You could be playing StarCraft 2.
And then you whack
keyboard
out your
and mouse.
Keyboard and your mouse.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Or indeed you can map controls as well. Regardless, I'm quite looking forward to that piece of kit.
To then play Kingdom Hearts 1. That's the gimpiest way I can play Kingdom Hearts 1. I know what. A Steam Deck.
What? I mean, weirdly, you would have to launch it via the Epic launcher, which isn't Steam. You know, so you have to. There's a degree of jiggery pokery that you have to do with it as well, which also makes me quite like that system. You know, and it doesn't run Windows; it runs a kind of version of Linux. Anyway, this is not interesting, and I can't wait.
Can you play Kingdom Hearts 1 on the Steam Deck?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I would say is, let's save this so riveting conversation about the Steam Deck for Season 3.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So there's a little sneak preview. Is there any other secrets up Farley's sleeve that he wants to bring out for season 3?
Yes.
Oh.
In season 3, you need to look out for Meteor.
Meteor.
That's all I'm going to say.
Season 3. Okay. That guy's a maniac.
Well, why do you bite me? I can't think of anything. I was going to say, what's my dumb butt?
How about let's do a more enthusiastic one, just to end it properly, okay? Cool.
Cool.
Farley, that guy's a maniac.
Why do you bite me?